lost world. An orchestra of natural sounds fills the air. The tropical mountain forests of northern India are rich in flora and fauna, and there is a good reason why. The almost constant rainfall. India's northeastern state, Meghalaya, is the wettest place of all. Meghalaya means abode of clouds. On average, 1,200 centimeters of rain falls here every year. This fuels rapid and remarkable plant growth. Plants and insects have evolved into many weird and wonderful forms. An enormous moon moth mimics a quivering leaf. Its huge size is made possible by this humid environment. Local people are never short of water. They embrace nature in all its forms and utilize the rapid rate of plant growth in the most ingenious way. The roots of Indian rubber trees are trained across the river and embedded on the other side. This creates a living root bridge, which will carry on growing for decades. This bridge has taken over 30 years to reach this size. Meghalaya's hills and mountains reach over 2,000 meters high and shadow a vast plateau. On its southern edge, the Meghalayan hills fall away to Bangladesh's floodplains. The steep hills are littered with waterfalls, which spring to life after every downpour. Nokkalikai Falls drop over 300 meters. They are the fourth tallest waterfall in the world. Cascading falls have immense power. Over millennia, they've carved an incredible maze of caverns and caves deep within the hills. Gentia Hills hide the longest cave system in India. They spread out over 20 kilometers. Huge stalactites, thousands of years in the making, decorate the walls. Water drips, trickles and pours everywhere. Untold water gives rise to steamy rainforests across the whole of northeast India. The rich plant growth provides a home for a mass of birds and insects. And many rare primates. Spectacled monkeys live high in the canopy, in troops up to 35 strong. They spend around 4 hours a day feeding on leaves, fruit, and the occasional flower. Their stomachs are specially adapted with extra bacteria to help them digest tough leaves and unripe fruits. Spectacled monkeys are most active in the early morning and late afternoon. All 4 limbs come into play to help them leap and scamper through the trees. Females give birth to 1 baby at a time. This youngster will stay with her mother for about 3.5 months. Play is an important part of growing up for all primates. Branches bend under the weight of boisterous youngsters. Adults stay on the lookout for danger. One of their deadliest threats is also one of the stealthiest. An Indian python is on the lookout for an easy meal. Its huge, camouflaged body disappears among the leaf litter. Pits on the snake's face sense warm-blooded prey. Indian pythons can grow to over 6 meters and can easily swallow a monkey whole. The highly sensitive forked tongue tastes the air, creating a picture of the world around it. The python knows food is close. It bides its time until the moment is right to strike. The snake coils its muscular body around its victim and squeezes tight until its prey suffocates. It then swallows its meal whole. By unhinging 3 parts of its jaw, its mouth opens 180 degrees. The python's skin is also extremely elastic. It can swallow prey 5 times the size of its head. It's the human equivalent of swallowing a whole watermelon. It gulps down the monkey head first, so its limbs don't get stuck. Muscular contractions help to push it down into its stomach. Snake's saliva eases swallowing by lubrication and contains powerful enzymes that break down the monkey's body. But pythons aren't the primate's only threat. Local people often hunt and eat monkeys too. Northeast India is home to more tribes than anywhere else on Earth. The isolated state of Arunachal Pradesh is especially rich in indigenous people and culture. Meaning land of the dawn-lit mountains, Arunachal Pradesh is India's easternmost state. One of the groups of people who live here are the Apatani. Their lives are dictated by the ebb and flow of the rain and the forest's seasonal fruits. The Apatani have no written record of their history. Local traditions are passed down from generation to generation. One practice, fast disappearing, is the traditional Apatani nose plugs, worn by most of the tribe's elder women. There was a time when every woman wore these unusual accessories. The nose plug is said to have been adopted as a way of protecting the women of the tribe. Local legend says the Apatani women were considered the most beautiful among all the Arunachal tribes. Their villages were constantly raided by neighbors and the women kidnapped. So, to make themselves less attractive, Apatani women began wearing nose plugs and tattooing their faces. But the custom hasn't been practiced by any woman born after 1970. As time passes, it may be forgotten. But other ancient practices are still carried out in isolated pockets of this mysterious region. A village elder performs a ritual chicken sacrifice to encourage rainfall. He's alleged to be 133 years old. These Apatani women have come together to initiate a wedding ritual at the bride's home. Over 100 women from neighboring villages take part in a long march. They pass through farms and fields, carrying baskets full of rice, topped with bamboo shoots and a pair of eggs. It's part of a fertility ritual dating back thousands of years. The bride's mother brings up the rear as the bride leads the way to her future husband's home. When they arrive at the groom's house, the rice is taken to the family granary. The women are given a token of appreciation. They're fed and rest after their exhausting trek. The next day, the bride brings rice powder and holy water, the essential ingredients for the wedding ceremony. The village elder overseeing the ceremony brings chickens, which are ritually sacrificed. During an Apatani wedding, over 70 chickens are usually killed. Their blood is sprinkled in the granary doorway, which is believed to bring the newlyweds good luck. Special ornaments are made out of bamboo, eggshells, and chicken feathers. They're hung in front of houses and along village paths to bring fortune to the married couple and their families. The wedding feast also includes the ritual sacrifice of a pig. Chunks of pork are laid out to dry, then carved and roasted over an open fire. Guests wash down their meal with rice beer. The feast marks the end of the wedding.
Eurovision 2012 is upon us.